Hey, this is Azeroth Rediscovering. My name is Brett.
My name is Jess.
Hey, Jess, we have been gone for a while.
We have. Life happened,
Yeah. Yeah, and we are very busy. You know how busy I always am.
Yeah, man. So much time sitting.
Sitting. I do a lot of sitting. I have jobs. I have multiple jobs.
I know,
but
I was just kidding.
yeah, I don't know. I have lots of free time, but I just wasn't up for the recording recently. But we're gonna give this a shot and see what happens, and just kind of see how talking about what we've been doing in WoW, see how that sounds.
All right.
Just what have we been doing in WoW?
Oh, since our last podcast? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I think
that was a while
I don't
ago.
think we've Brett, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where we left off in the podcast, but
So I think the last podcast that was published was that was Cataclysm, the end of Cataclysm. So our listeners would believe us to be
heading into Pandaland.
Pandaland. That is correct.
Oh,
Yes.
well, that was at least a year ago.
Yeah, 2 years, I think.
Yeah, probably 2.
Yeah, it really wasn't 2 years. It was probably like
3
It
weeks.
probably honestly was like a month ago though. It was a decent amount of time. We got way ahead of ourselves when we were
Well, man,
when we were
okay, so brief, let's just talk about it. Panda was terrible. It was 5 levels, we couldn't fly, it sucked, and we got through it as quickly as we could.
the names were hard to pronounce.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
I'm not a native Chinese speaker.
It's just like, once they took away my flying, like, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. It was just a job. What came after Panda, Brett?
Warlords?
Okay, that was
of
cool.
Draenor?
That gave us a garrison. That was new content to us. We had little mini things. That was kind of cool because we could kind of play without each other, but not get ahead of each other during that. We had like our own little respective things to do.
Yeah, our garrisons were cool because the thing she just said, and we were both really into it. I think her even more so than I were into the garrisons, and I know I was leveling my mining, and I had the mine for the garrison, and so I was doing that daily.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't really make too much out of my garrison. I really enjoyed collecting what is it, the garrison cache?
Yeah,
Just that garrison currency that I don't really know what I'm supposed to spend it on, but I know that I need to collect it every day. I did that. I sent people out on missions frequently because I know I was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
There is a mount that can be received, whatever. It's in Draenor, close to. If you go to your garrison, you take the flight path to Wargol. It's just a little bit to the left of that. Again, we can't fly there. There's like a million things to do to get to fly. I have ended up purchasing flying in Panda. I can't purchase flying in Draenor. We just won't ever be able to fly there, I guess. The list of things to do is like, have you looked at it?
I've looked at it, and I only briefly,
It's-
I told you that it was extensive, and then I didn't know that you actually looked it up.
Yeah, 'cause like, I kind of just figured like, eventually there would be an amount of gold I could spend to purchase flying, but that's not a thing yet. Hopefully sometime it is. But for now, I don't fly there, so I take the flight path, I go over. Now this mount is, it's not a flying mount, it's Garn Nighthow. It's not a flying mount. It looks pretty cool. You have to kill an elite boss or whatever, and some little wolves around him. You can sell it in the auction house sells for pretty much often. I pretty much sell that every day. That's how I've gotten to be more rich than Brett in the World of Warcraft. I have more money than him.
Yeah, this mob is only level 102, but I think even a well-geared 110 might have trouble with it alone, because I know I have trouble at So we're currently, not to get way off topic, but we're currently like 109, I think.
Yeah. I'm like 70% through 109. So like we're right there. Me. Only a little. I was trying to catch up with you, but I think I have a thing going on right now that you don't have, that I get to deal with your favorite. I have some Hemet Nessingwary quests I'm working on that I think they've got something to do with my skinning. So I don't think you can do that. But there's, in typical Hemet fashion, there's a thing I have to do and then go back, and there's a bigger thing, and each time it's like 16 to 20,000 XP, so I did a couple and then realized I got ahead of you a little, so I stopped. But anyway, off track again. So we did Warlords, we did, the Mount, I get that a lot, I have more money than Brett. We have been, then we finally hit Legion.
Legion content started at 98. Yeah. So we were able to take a boat. I think that was the first thing we did outside of Orgrimmar. You get on a ship, a boat, a water ship, not an airship. And I'm kind of drawing a blank.
I don't quite remember exactly, but like we got into this area and we had like a scenario. We were together for that, right? We didn't have to do that alone. Maybe we did.
I think we did. I think this scenario is like a single player kind of thing. I think most scenarios are, or I can't say that for a fact, but I think most are. I think that I know when you go up to your class hall, the things you do through those scenarios, especially to get like your weapons, are single player. So you're kind of in your own instance, and it would be cool if you were able to get more people in there, but it's also kind of like I feel like they would rush through things if you had more people in there, and they would skip cutscenes and get ahead of you. And sometimes I like to admire the WoW story. It's not often, but sometimes like I do watch every cutscene.
I was about to say, like, my face, if you guys could see my face, I am raising all my eyebrows because you watch every second of all cutscenes, and I skip them all immediately. I don't play with my sound on, like, I just want to play the game. So I think you're way more involved with the storyline than I am.
Right. I mean, I'm no expert of the lore, but Jess doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't even play with the sound on, so...
I don't like all that. It's just noise to me, like...
Yeah. I could understand, like, the battle. Like, I don't want to hear, like... Sometimes that gets annoying, like, all the clanking and... That's not ready yet. I'm too far away.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
You must have a target. I get that a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, like, I even, like, tried to play with the sound on earlier this week, and, like, I think I lasted maybe, like, an hour before I turned it back off.
Yeah. So. It would have been nice to not hear Malfurion, in this recent quest that we completed. He was very whiny.
He was missing. We had to find him. We were his wife, and we had to find him.
Yeah. Well, we weren't his wife. We were with his wife.
That's what I meant, Brett. I'm a cat. You're a... I don't even know what you were.
Anyway,
he was, like, hiding, and they had decoy Malfurions, and, like, you would go up and hit them, and then they would be like, no, that's not it. Keep looking. I don't know. It was dumb.
Yeah, it was kind of goofy. It was pretty, like, a good story, though. Like, I was able to follow it without reading, like, all the quest stuff. There were many cutscenes. I know we're jumping all around here, but that's what happens.
It's kind of what we've done, though, like...
Yeah.
Especially in Legion, because there's, like, when you get into Legion, after you got out of that first storyline, like, you get a class hall. And, like, I'm a druid, you're a... Warrior, whatever. I don't know. So like we got split up for a little bit, and we had like, we didn't have the option not to be split up. We had to go through this our respective phases, and we had to pick an artifact weapon and then do a little bit of stuff to make it have some power. We had to pick our specialization, and like I play in the game, I play DPS, but when we do dungeons or instances, whatever, I do healing. So and then Brett does DPS and tank sometimes. We had to kind of like research and pick apart what we wanted to do, because it seemed very final at that point. Like, it seemed when we were making that decision that it was very, very set in stone, and I think it kind of wasn't really. It is and it isn't.
Yeah, well, what I didn't realize, so at level, I didn't realize, we're talking about our artifact weapons, and I didn't realize that you end up getting, multiple artifact weapons. So as a warrior, you have 3 specs, and I have all 3 artifact weapons, as if any of you guys have played through Legion, you know by now. And I thought maybe you only get that initial one. So I knew end game I wanted to tank, so the first one I took was the scale, and I don't know the name of it. It's the tanking one that's a shield and a sword for the warrior. So I took that because I was like, well, I need to tank, and I need this because I found out there are no weapons other than those weapons in Legion. So there aren't any weapon drops, which I thought was crazy. But it did make sense, because I thought, I'll never replace this because it'll always be the best, because I'll have these artifact powers and all that stuff, and I didn't realize that there were no actual weapons really in Legion. So that was cool, and they did make it seem very final when you were doing this scenario, as if like this is your one and only. And I just wish that stuff would be a little bit more clear on WoW. It's like I don't necessarily want stuff easier, but I want it to be more transparent. Like, if you want to do this, go here or something. I just feel like it's I don't know, like it's like I don't want to have to Google things, kind of. Like maybe that just sounds lazy, and like I want it to be more handholdy, but I don't know. I think there's a balance that could be made there. There's still so much I don't know, and even I'm sure Jess knows even less than I do, just from she's only been playing 2 months or so. Anyway, Jess,
let me
what
ask
else?
you this, Brett,
Yeah.
because this is something that I ran into in my class hall, and I'm not sure that you had the same issue. But when you get the relics, I might stumble through this because I don't really know what I'm talking about. When you get the artifact relics, you have to go to a specific place in your class hall to equip them, or to do whatever you do with them. Was that clear to you? It says you must be at the blank, but was that place on your map? Like, did you know where that place was?
I did, and I don't know why I knew that, but I did know I had to be in my class hall at that forge for some reason.
Did you know where the forge was in your class hall?
Yes.
Dude, it is not anywhere in, like I had to Google, and I had to Google hard, and then I found, like, deep within the comments somewhere on probably Wowhead, I don't know, but, like, somebody had taken a screenshot of the map of their class hall and then made, like, an Excel sheet that went with it, and this person marked where several things were that are not on our map as druids. And everybody was like, thank you. I hope that this is in the game sometime, because, like, there is so much information that is just not there. And, like, I remember asking you where to go, and you were like, you have to go to your place in this forge. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, that doesn't exist. And then, like, the internet was like, it's 5 rocks. You have to go stand by those 5 rocks. And it took me forever to find those rocks, and then, like, there's, like, a little seed on the ground you have to click on. In the middle of, like, green forest, there is a green leaf you have to click on. And that's how you do it in our class hall. It was pretty tough. I was kind of irritated. I think it should have explained that a little bit better in the game. I shouldn't have had to, like, freaking take a
Right.
college course on how to find that place.
Yeah, and sometimes it just feels like, well, just it feels like a job sometimes because I guess you could just change your mindset of like, no, I'm not Googling anything. Like
You
I don't
never
want
get through it. Like, I don't think you could, I don't think you could get through the game. As a new person, especially.
to. You're right. As a new yeah, I think you're right with that. And but then again, you have to take into consideration like you skip through a lot of things. Like you don't read, but even I guess that's mostly just quest text like that you skip through. It's not really like there are a lot of instructions like
Right.
or a lot of direction. So in skipping quest text, like I mean that's not detrimental really. Like every once in a while, if you would just have read the quest, you would realize you can't just run to the marker and start killing stuff. You realize that, oh, you have to run to the marker and use an item first or something like that. But yeah, it's it look. I only saw your haul very briefly, like when you were playing one time. Yours looked way bigger. Like it looked like yours was outside, which is
Yeah.
pretty normal for druids. Like mine is like I'm like up in the sky with a Valkyrie or whatever they're called, like big Norse people with Odin, and that's where I am. But I don't know. Like yours seemed like an open, like a big open area, and you had all these portals and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely outside. It's very, I mean, it's really pretty. It kind of reminds me, I don't remember the names of the places we've been in this game, but we did a quest where we had to find green things in green areas like one time. Kind of maybe
Yeah.
in Panda. I don't even remember, but it's very outdoor. It's like kind of almost like it reminds me of like a fairy garden kind of like it's green and there's a lot of like pretty colors and there's like little bursts of sunbeam like twinkles. I don't know. It's very like
It's
dreamy.
whimsical.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cutesy and dreamy. I like my class hall. It's just again like there's just some information that I think is really lacking. But you know, I'm gonna be honest. Like now that the end is in sight, you know, we like I'm in this WoW Facebook group and like these people post and I've been in it for kind of a while and I see their posts and I'm like, well, when I hit max level, I'll know what they're talking about. Like I just don't know because I'm not there yet and. Gotta be honest, I'm pretty close to being at max level, and there's still not a whole lot that they talk about that I understand.
The only things I would think that you would be confused is if they're talking about the end game raids or the end game heroics or PvP.
All of the above.
And you haven't really done you've done a tiny bit of PvP and you haven't done either of the first two, so you wouldn't know if they're referencing something from there. Or maybe they're referencing something that was just before you started playing that is no longer really relative, but they're talking about it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, it's very intimidating, man, because there's often, like, I'm sure if I start, like, kind of touching base on it, you'll know, but, like, they're in groups, and they're doing 25 people runs on something, and then, like, somebody gets kicked out so a friend can join, and then the friend loots the mount, and, like, I mean, it's all just super dramatic and hateful. Everybody gets reported for not dealing enough damage. Like, it's just, like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a game, and you don't have to,
Yeah.
like, be that angry, like, angry enough to report players for not doing well, and also, I mean, and I know that I'll do, like, I know that my feelings get hurt if people, like, pick at me being bad at the game, but, like, it is a game and I shouldn't care, but, I mean, I guess I'll keep going and perhaps I'll start to understand it more when I can actually do end-game content, but, I mean, man, like, I'm going around right now killing animals for skinning at level 109, and, like, one animal, I have half of my life gone. like, I don't think I'm prepared for the things that these people are doing if I can't kill, like, what do they call it? Trash mobs? Is that what that is?
You are not prepared!
That's usually referred to, like, in instances, not really outside of instances. But, yeah, if I don't know why half your health should be gone. I don't know, man. I don't know much about druids. I know when I'm playing as my protection warrior, it just seems like it's really hard for me to die. Like, there are so many things I can do to prevent myself dying.
Dude, I just blink of an eye. If I scratch my nose, I'm dead. Like, it's just so fast.
We've also been farming mounts. That is something we've not talked about. I feel like we could do a whole episode on our mounts.
We should do that. We should do that separately.
Yeah, let's just save that. We'll save that for a special episode.
It's awesome though.
Yeah, we like that a lot. So what else have we been doing? We kind of, so once we hit level like 100, we kind of slowed way down the leveling. We noticed the leveling slowed way down, which is understandable because they don't want you rushing through their new content.
Yeah, slowing down is an understatement. Like, it has taken forever. And we haven't played it quite as often, and it's just like, both of those things together, it feels like we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I kind of got burned out, to be honest. Like, I just kind of hit a wall, and I was like, this isn't fun, and I'm not gonna play when it's not fun. So, I just took a break. Jess made a demon hunter.
I did. That's really cool. She looks cool. I think I'm better at DPSing with her. It's still very new. Like, I mean, it starts at level 98, and I think I'm at level 100, maybe 101. But I'm really enjoying that so far. I haven't done the only instance. This episode's coming out at Valentine's Day time. The only dungeon or whatever I've done is the chemical company, like the Valentine's Day thing. I haven't done anything else with her. But I'm in the middle of a scenario with her right now, so it's getting pretty cool. I just picked my artifact weapon with her. I like it. But, like, my main point in doing that was to have another high-level character to try to do this thing that we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah, the Demon Hunter, I also made one after I saw Jess make one, because it looked pretty cool. And it is pretty cool. The starting area is very cool. You're kind of in like a Shadow Moon Valley looking place. I don't know the name of it. But stuff is green, and there are demons, and it's just it's fun to double jump, it's fun to glide, it's fun to dash. You get a mount on your like second quest. So
my computer went to sleep while we were recording, and I got scared.
Are you good?
I'm good. Everything, it's still recording.
Okay.
This will be a nice little comedic moment. Scared me.
No, yeah, but you get all this stuff, and you get really good weapons. You start out, it's really like a jump, it's really a jump start to like your WoW game. Like, I kind of wish I would have just started with the Demon Hunter when we started Legion. Not just Legion, but when I started back into WoW, instead of leveling from level 1. Even though that was really fun, and we were able to do...
That's the whole point of our podcast. You can't wish it away, Brett.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, we got, 12 episodes or so out of leveling that. But the Demon Hunter... it just would have been nice because I think that they're probably the most powerful right now. And I could tank on that, which tanking is what I enjoy doing.
And that double jump. That is life-changing. I love it.
Yeah, the double jump and the glide is really fun. So, and the dashing, you can dash while you're jumping. Like, they've actually kind of made jumping part of, less... Like, it's more, it's less cosmetic and more, what would you call that? Usable?
It's necessary. Like, it's part of the game to have this ability. It's like it, there are some things that happen that it would change the game. It's detrimental to be able to do some of the things that you have to do, especially in the starting scenarios, to be able to double jump and like get that extra, either the height or like the distance in the glide kind of aspect of it. Like it's part of how you play this character.
Yeah, you pretty much can't take fall damage from what I can tell. Like you can just glide. And you
kind of land, like I have noticed that like I can kind of break my fall by landing on places that I should not be able to, like I couldn't stand on that. Like, I don't know, I've noticed it's a lot more forgiving.
That's interesting. Jess, what else have we been doing in WoW? I'm trying to think. We talked about the Valentine's Day event, very briefly. I was hoping to get the pink love rocket, I think is what it's called.
Oh, that sounds wildly inappropriate.
It does.
That is a mount, which is also just adds to the effect that it's not. It's a little rocket ship for Valentine.
Would you like to mount my pink love rocket?
Oh, God. Stop. People hear you.
But it didn't drop for us, so we didn't get that.
I got something funny, and I said it, and you got excited because what did I get, like a pocket rocket or something like that?
Yeah.
I got little fireworks.
I thought that it was the mount, and I thought that people were looting the mount, but it was just like a stupid firework item or something like that.
Yeah. Brett, I decided in this high level, like pretty much I think once we hit Legion content, my previous professions were skinning and leatherworking, and I have decided I nixed my leatherworking and picked up herbalism, and that has been a decision I am very happy with. Not that that's like interesting to talk about, but like I make a lot of gold off that, and that to me is very fun.
Yeah, like making gold is that's something that like I think has been fun, and then just like you've been going after that mount for a long time, and making gold off of that. Yeah. So that's something that like I've always tried to do in WoW, is like have a lot of gold, but like I never really had the profession to do that. Kaklan, who is the warrior that I play with, is a mining and jewel crafting profession, and I think the mining might be able to earn me some gold. I don't know that the jewel crafting will do anything like herbalism or
skinning.
I was going to say alchemy, because apparently the elixirs that is made from alchemy are a big deal when you're raiding. So, it's apparently like you got to pay around 800 gold per raid or something, because you need these elixirs for the raid. I don't really know. I'm not there, so I can't really speak on it, but that's the kind of stuff I've heard.
Well, that's interesting. I just, like, in the beginning, I didn't really, I don't think I really comprehended what all I was supposed to do. So before I knew it, like, my skinning was at 600 and my level working was still at, like, 110, because I just got rid of all the leather. I never made anything. And then by the time I realized what I had done, like, I would have had to go back all the way through to try to find the leather required to level it up. And just, that wasn't really worth it. Nobody's buying leather gear. It just wouldn't have been lucrative. And the herbs that I mine the herbs that I gather are, like, Legion herbs are super expensive. Like, I make a ton of gold off those.
Yeah, everything's inflated, so it's like, you make a ton more gold, but everything costs a ton more gold. So it seems like you're super rich, but when you actually go to buy the things that you need when we're actually max level, like, we're going to be paying a ton, so.
Yeah, luckily I haven't had to, like, I don't think I've bought, the only thing I've spent any gold on, was 30 slot bags, and they were pricey, but totally worth it.
Oh, did you get 4 of those? Wow.
I got 3 of them. I don't know why. like him at Nessingware just gave me a quest right before we started doing this, and my reward is a 26 slot bag. So
that could go in your bank.
Yeah, I might use it. I might put it in my bank. Like, I don't know if those 4 extra slots are worth paying. You know,
I always wanted them all to match, though.
Yeah, right now I think I have the Onyxia 22 slot bag. I don't know. It's a bind on equip. I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll have to see. I might buy another 30 slot bag.
The one from Himmet is a bind on equip or bind on pick up. Yeah, that's what I figured. Almost all the quests rewards are bind on pickup.
Yeah. So, I mean, very general talks on, Panda and Draenor, but something else about this is that they kind of have the same thing going on in Draenor, but in Legion, where we have in our class halls we have people we can send out on quests to try to do to try to level them up, and we also can send a helper. We can have a helper come.
The followers we can send
the followers, and it's pretty cool. They're a little bit more worth it to me than the garrison, because when you send them out on missions, sometimes the reward is artifact power, which is, useful to me, so that I like that.
Yeah, that's something we didn't talk about. So your artifact weapon, you're constantly leveling up with artifact power, and the artifact power you get from quests, and you get from doing daily dungeons, like random Legion dungeons. So,
also, all of the chests.
Oh, yeah. You get them from any chests that you find. And
there's little treasure boxes throughout all of Legion content, and they've got junk in them.
Yeah, so you level them up, and your weapon gets stronger. As you go, you can put points into different things. Sorry if I cut you off, Jess. You were kind of cutting out, and I couldn't tell if you were done talking or not.
Yeah, we're the way we do this is normally super effective, but tonight we're having a little bit of connection issues and our iPads aren't talking to each other well.
Right. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Jess?
No, I think this is good. Like we said, next week we'll have a good episode on mount farming.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that, and I think that we could talk a good amount on that, and what kind of success and non-success we've had.
Failures.
Yes, that's
failures every freaking time. Just spoilers.
For some people.
Yeah, me, not Brad.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up the episode for this time. We're excited to get you up to date, and we're going to try to go back to our once a week episode, but can't promise anything at the moment. We're going to do these as we see fit, and we're going to find interesting stuff to talk about.
If you guys have questions about any of that Panda content, or if there's something you need us to know and you want us to talk about, feel free to email or Facebook or message or tweet or all the things.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to go back and revisit it, but we just want to get current.
Yeah, Facebook is probably the best way to get a hold of us because it goes to both of us, and it is something that we check daily. So we will get an alert very quickly. I do check the email every once in a while, but Facebook will probably be the best. So I'm just going to direct everyone to the Facebook page because I think that would be that's the simplest option. So we are Azeroth Rediscovering on Facebook. You can find that. You'll see the art. It has the same art as our podcast does, so you'll be able to tell that it is, in fact, us. We should think about updating that art.
We did take some screenshots of us sitting on a beautiful mountaintop in Draenor.
We did. I forgot about that photo shoot we did with Kaklan and
it was beautiful.
Ratfi on top of the... Yeah, it was.
The stars were twinkling. It was dark and snowy.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, guys. We will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, and Rate us on iTunes, please. Thanks.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.